I was right most of my life, and it cost me the people I loved. I didn't lose them in one argument. I lost them slowly by always needing to be right. I'm 81 years old now, and it took me most of my life to understand that being right isn't the same as being loving. By the time I learned that, most of the people who paid the price were already gone. I'm not telling you this to feel better about myself. I don't think that's possible anymore. I'm telling it because time feels different now, and silence carries more weight than honesty ever did. I spent decades believing that clarity came from winning discussions, that respect came from holding my ground, that if I could explain myself well enough, calmly enough, logically enough, everything would be fine. For a long time, I thought that made me a good man. I wasn't cruel, I didn't shout, I worked hard, I showed up, I paid the bills on time. I believed responsibility was love, and that being correct was a kind of care. I grew up in a time where admitting fault felt like weakness. You defended your position. You didn't back down unless you were proven wrong. And even then, you did it quietly. Apologies were rare. Pride wasn't. In my 20s and 30s, this worked. At least it looked like it did. At work, people respected me. I moved up. I was known as someone who didn't make careless decisions, someone who could argue a point until the other side gave up. I took pride in that. I thought clarity came from winning. At home, though, it was different. I just didn't see it yet. My wife would challenge me sometimes, not loudly, just enough to let me know she saw things differently. About money, about how late I worked, about the way I spoke to the kids when I was tired. I always had a reason, a justification, a calm explanation of why I was right. I didn't insult her, I didn't raise my voice, I just corrected her, over and over. There were evenings when she would start to say something, stop halfway through, and shake her head. I remember thinking that meant I'd won, that I'd made my point clear. What I didn't understand was that each of those moments cost something. The damage never arrived all at once. It never does. It showed up quietly. A dinner conversation that ended sooner than it used to. A car ride where the radio stayed on because talking felt heavier. A birthday where the gift was thoughtful but the room felt distant. When I missed school events because I stayed late at work, I explained why my job required sacrifice. When my son pulled away as a teenager, I told myself it was just a phase. When my daughter stopped sharing her problems, I assumed she was becoming independent. I was always explaining, always clarifying, always right. The turning point didn't come with a dramatic argument or a door slammed shut. It came with a phone call at work. My wife had been tired for a while. Nothing alarming, just tired. We talked about seeing a doctor. I said we would. We didn't hurry. By the time we did, everything moved faster than I was ready for. Hospital rooms have a way of shrinking the world. All the arguments that once felt important suddenly lose their shape there. She was thinner than I remembered, quieter too. One afternoon she reached for my hand and said, "You don't always have to be right, you know." She wasn't angry. That's what stays with me. She wasn't accusing me of anything. She was tired, and she was telling me something she'd been trying to say for years. I started to explain myself out of habit. Then I stopped. It didn't matter anymore. She was gone 6 weeks later. There are things you can't fix once someone is gone. You can't clarify your intentions. You can't revisit old conversations and soften your words. You can't go back and choose presence over precision. After that, the house changed. Not physically, emotionally. It echoed. My children called, but not as often as I hoped. They had their own lives, their own rhythms, and I realized then how much I didn't know about them. how many conversations I'd corrected instead of heard. I had been right so often that I forgot how to listen. Now when I think about the arguments I won, I can barely remember what they were about, but I remember the silence that followed them. I remember the looks that said, "This isn't worth it." If you're listening to this and there's someone in your life you keep correcting, someone you love, this is where I lost them. Being right can feel clean, logical, justified, but relationships don't keep score the way arguments do. They erode quietly when one person always needs the final word. There are moments when letting something go doesn't mean you're wrong. It means you're choosing the person in front of you over the comfort of certainty. I wish I had understood that sooner. I have time now, plenty of it, just not the kind that matters. I'll finish my coffee soon. I'll wash the cup. The day will pass like most days do now, gently, without urgency, and I'll keep living with the truth. I finally learned, even if it arrived too late to change the parts of my life that mattered most,